that fear is really what stops most people, the fear of the
It
unknown.
sure does.
And then also
Yes.
the fear of failing, right? Like nobody wants to fail. Nobody wants to be a beginner. Nobody wants to look like they don't know what they're
Right.
doing.
Right.
But that's, I mean, like you said, on the other side of that, like you just mentioned, you rediscover who you are and the person that you want to be, and the mom that you want to be, the wife you want to be, the person you want to be. And that relationship with yourself is kind of almost rekindled.
You are listening to the Beyond the Classroom podcast, a podcast for burnt out teachers who know something's gotta give. After teaching for 14 years and feeling completely burned out for way too long, in May of 2022, I made a big decision and left the classroom. I now help burnt out teachers like you take back balance and joy so you can wake up every day loving your life. In this podcast, we'll explore who you are beyond the classroom, whether you're considering leaving or wanting to make changes so you can fall in love with teaching again. Either way, I understand what it's like to be living a life that looks fun and cute on the outside. You know, summer's off, playing all day, off at 2 o'clock every day, but actually feels miserable and draining. I'm your host and coach, Sandy Patterson, and I'm so excited to help you step into your fullest potential and believe in that potential to make an impact on the world, not just survive each day. Are you ready? Let's do this.
All right. Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Beyond the Classroom podcast. I am so excited today. I have a great friend and another guest here. I have Amanda Reed here with us today. We're going to do a little chit chat again because we got such great feedback from our last guest interview. Lots of questions about former teachers who had left the classroom for various reasons and just kind of a little bit about what they're doing now and that story. So, we're going to let Amanda share here. I'm so excited. Welcome, Amanda.
Thank you so much for having me. So excited to be here today.
Yes, we're so excited to have you. I know that our listeners are going to love hearing your story and hearing about your business and what you're doing now that you have left the classroom. So, first off, let's go ahead and have you share a little bit about you and your background.
Awesome. Yes. Thanks again, and happy to be here for the listeners. So, like Sandy said, my name is Amanda Reed, and I'm one of those stories where you hear of teachers when I grew up, or growing up, I should say, like I always knew exactly what I wanted to do. And that was to be a teacher. I played school at home. I was always babysitting, just loved being around kids and watching them grow and helping them learn and develop, just seeing their personalities and just watching their world in a wonder of awe just really excited me. So that's what I did. I went on and graduated from Indiana University in Bloomington, and I got my degree in special education and elementary education. And that really, helped me a lot, especially in the gen ed classroom. So I started in special education at the fifth and sixth grade level, kind of a support teacher at that level for kids who were struggling with learning, and quickly realized that age was not for me. So
Yes, we do. Yes.
So then I went to the elementary level and worked in an ED classroom. So partially self-contained and part inclusion. And then realized or, saw that this kindergarten teaching position opened up. And that was kind of like my sweet baby spot, I thought at the time for myself. And lo and behold, I took that kindergarten job and stayed there for 12 years and left, obviously, have since left the classroom. So 13 years total teaching between special education and kindergarten. And now I have two boys of my own, crazy wild boys.
Yes, boy, mom here too. I get it.
And I'm married to my husband, Chris, and, doing this working from home thing and loving life right now. So,
Oh my gosh, I love it. Thank you for sharing that. So, 13 years is a long time. I mean, that is not like a quick stint in teaching. That's like You were solid there. So,
What?
how did
Yeah.
you know for you? I know a lot of teachers are probably wondering, how did you know it was time to leave teaching? And what did that look like? What did that journey look like for you?
Well, short answer is it was kind of a culmination of several things, as teachers know right now. I mean, there's a lot on our plates. It's just not like it used to be, unfortunately. And, as the years went on, and then after having my own kids, like that just changes the whole dynamic and perspective and, what's on your plate and how to manage all of that.
Mhm.
So, long story short, it was kind of a culmination of things. But the last couple of years or so before I had left the classroom, this was like the defining moment that I was like, oh my goodness, it's time to go. So,
Yeah.
and it was a summer break, and my husband was like, oh, this is what the real Amanda is like. We want this Amanda. And, things continued on. I was, trying to make it work. And even my kids, they were so young. My oldest at that point, they were still so young, but they were like, after a break had ended, I think it was, they're like, we want the real mom back. And my husband was like, oh
Oh,
man, I miss that Amanda we had on these breaks. And so that was like, that was it. I was like, oh my goodness, I am just not myself. My husband notices, my kids are noticing.
yeah.
It was time for me, to go and pursue something else. So,
Yes, and I think so many people can relate to that when you start to lose that spark and that fire and that almost like your like who you are at your core
right.
when whatever position it is, whether it's teaching or whatever situation you're in, when you start to feel yourself like start to, I don't know, wither away for lack of a better
Yes,
word. Like
yes,
that's what it
yeah.
felt like to me too. Yeah, you knew it was time. So what was the scariest part of making that decision for you to leave? Because I know we've chatted a ton. Like I know that that was not an easy decision for you. So what
Absolutely.
was the scariest part of the decision itself? And then how did you work through that scary?
I think the scariest part was honestly realizing that this wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Like I
Mm,
always thought that this is what I would do until I could retire, if that were even an option, or,
hmm.
I passed away, like getting old age.
Yeah,
And the scary part was realizing that and being like, oh my goodness, I have to figure out, who I am again and what else am I going to do?
yes.
And it was rather convenient, I guess, because I had been working a side gig a good 5 years now. So into teaching, I was working the side gig. So I had been in the
Hmm.
online space for a while. And, I had battled fear and self-doubt and still was working through it. And I still kept getting this nudge, like there is something else out there for me, but it was so scary to even think about what else that would be. So, I thought, I reflected. I knew exactly, when my husband and my kids said those things, I knew exactly like I couldn't stay any longer. I had to do something else. And I still wanted to serve teachers in some capacity. And at that time, crazy kind of story here, but at that time, right before I had left, I had actually lined up a position. It was private Christian school position, 3 days a week. It was more of like a hybrid kind of model, but
Hmm.
in person 3 days a week, and then being at home the other 2 days. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is perfect. Like I could be more present with my kids and have a little more time, flexibility. And, I left finally, and it was just like in my heart, I just wasn't there. And I still did not want to pursue that, even though I had that lined up. So randomly that summer, my husband gets this job offer, and we were in Indiana at the time.
Yeah.
And this job offer was in Savannah, Georgia. And total leap of faith. He took that job. I told this part-time position teaching Christian school that I was not coming. I was not starting there because we were moving. So lo and behold, we moved. That was kind of like my exit out of teaching.
Yeah.
And to rediscover who I was and build this business that I'm working on. So,
Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm just going to touch on a couple things that you said too. That when you talked about how like you thought you would always do this, like you thought, I think a lot of teachers feel that way. I know I did too. Like you go to school, you spend thousands of dollars, you spend all of these years like learning how to become a teacher. And then once you get there, it is very difficult and very hard to admit that, wait a minute, like this is not what I thought it was going to be, especially now. Like you said, it's so different now. So that's really brave of you to admit that. And then to take that leap, like you said, like with that fear, like you don't actually know what's going to happen, but you
Mhm.
just knew, you had that gut feeling. And that's another common theme that I see a lot is that gut feeling. Like we can try to push it aside as much as we can. And oh, we have this opportunity in front of me. I'm just going to make this work because that's what I do. I can figure
Yeah,
this out. But that gut feeling never goes away until you address it. So it's really
right.
brave of you to just be like, okay, let's do this, let's go, because that is a scary thing. And that fear is really what stops most people, the fear of the
It
unknown.
sure does.
And then also
Yes.
the fear of failing, right? Like nobody wants to fail. Nobody wants to be a beginner. Nobody wants to look like they don't know what they're
Right.
doing.
Right.
But that's, I mean, like you said, on the other side of that, like you just mentioned, you rediscover who you are and the person that you want to be, and the mom that you want to be, the wife you want to be, the person you want to be. And that relationship with yourself is kind of almost rekindled for that sounds
Yes.
really corny, but
No, it's
so
true
true.
though. It is.
Yes, yes. Okay, so tell us, you mentioned this a little bit, and I know that people are going to be curious about this. So, as far as you as leaving went, what did you do beforehand to set yourself up? Because the decision to leave is essentially the easy part, right? The actual act of leaving and then figuring out what to do next is the scary
Right.
part. So, what did you do before you left to set yourself up for success?
Well, I had really, I mean, honestly, it was part of the mind game that, you have and play with yourself. Like I really
Mhm.
had to be firm with myself and say, this is no longer serving me. This is no longer working for me and my family. So I have to ride on that and, kind of have faith that there is something else out there for me. And I didn't know what that was at the time, quite
Mm.
clearly, but I knew, there was something else out there and I had to pursue that because that nudge, we've talked about before, is just, it wasn't leaving. And it really is something that you have to pursue to find, what that actually is and how that can work for you. So I really stuck to my why for one, why I wanted to leave, why this wasn't
Mhm.
working, and then I decided to hire a business coach for myself because, like I said before, I was on the network marketing side of things, and I knew for a while that I wanted to tap into the coaching space. I was just too scared to do it at the time.
Mhm.
So, hiring this business coach, a heavy focus was on mindset and, of course, learning the business aspects of running an online business. So, all of
Yeah.
that helped me tremendously find that clarity and that drive and that peace and really the purpose behind what I'm doing.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I didn't even know before I left. I didn't even know what coaching was. Like, I didn't even know that was a thing. And then
Yeah.
same thing, like before I left, I was like, I'm going to need some support here. I'm not going to be able to do this by myself. So I hired, same thing, hired a life and business coach. And like, that was like the best decision, I think.
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
besides
Yes.
like marrying my husband and having kids, like that was probably the best decision that I've ever made in my entire life, hands down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
You also mentioned a little bit earlier that you had a side hustle. Could you tell us a little bit about that and how that played a role in you being able to leave? Or
Yeah.
did it play a role?
Yeah. Because I think, honestly, I think it had everything to do with, why I was successful and why I took that leap of faith. Because I
Yeah.
knew, building that side hustle and that customer base that I had built. And I knew, just being trained by all these amazing gurus like Aaron King and Jen Gottlieb and, all these Fraser Brooks, like all these people, and just having that training and the mindset work, like
Yes.
whole. the whole space of network marketing and learning from these people and establishing that frame of mind really helped me. And it also, gave me a little cushion, making a little side income there that
Yeah.
I knew I could keep going with even while I'm
Yeah.
still trying to figure things out at that
Yes.
time.
Yes.
So
Oh my
super
gosh.
beneficial.
Totally. And the mindset work, like feel like that keeps popping up too. Like I think a lot of people don't realize too. I didn't realize when I left
I did
either,
not.
like that
No.
was going to be what made or made or broke me, basically. It's going to make or break you in any situation. And I believe in that so wholeheartedly now. Yeah, you don't realize those thoughts that you have constantly all
Right.
day, every day are going to that's what drives you. And if you
Right.
don't believe in yourself, there's no chance. So you have to get your mind right in order to trust yourself and figure it out. So, so good. Okay, so tell us about your business now. What are you doing now?
Right. So now I have a one-on-one program. It's called Passionate Life After Teaching. It's an 8-week program, and I am helping and coaching teachers through the process of starting their own online business. And I also, a huge portion of my program, because I've learned and know exactly how important mindset work is. So that's also tied into the content of my program. And I also help with like transition plans, establishing
Mm,
what day looks like when if you are actually leaving teaching, working from home is
yes.
way different.
Yes, it
So I also
is.
have part of that as my program plan. So that is what I'm doing
Oh,
right now.
that is amazing. And I know that you're helping so many teachers. And of course, we'll put in the show notes a link to that program and where to find you so our
Sure.
listeners here can check you out. But I know what amazing things you are doing with your teachers. And it's so exciting because, it's scary to be in a position where you feel like you're stuck and you have no
Yeah,
options. But again,
right.
that's a mindset thing too. Like you're
It
only
is.
really stuck unless you say you're stuck. You have
Right.
options, you have resources, you have people, you have things. So, yeah, I love that we connected through that too. Now, what advice or what would you tell teachers about leaving the classroom that you wish you had have known prior to leaving?
I think it would be just, start settling and realizing and, telling your mind that you are capable. You have so many transferable skills, even though it's hard to see
Yes,
when you're in those
yes.
trenches. You have so many skills, and just be open, have an open mind and a willingness to try something new, get uncomfortable. Those are the two things that I wish I would have known. Just being open and knowing that I need to get uncomfortable in order to grow, because
Yes.
that comfort zone, nothing really happens when you're stuck right inside of there. And
Yes, you're so right. I think so many of us as teachers, like we get really comfortable in where we're at and you know, we get comfortable in a grade level, we get comfortable in a school, we get comfortable in teaching itself. But
right, which is
even,
also why like I stayed in kindergarten for 12 years. Part of me now looking
yes,
back, I'm like, oh, I wish I would have tapped into first or second a little bit, to have a little different experience.
yes,
But that was my
yes, totally, totally. Yes, yes, yes. And you even said earlier, you said, I didn't know exactly what was like what the path would be clearly, but I
Mhm.
just knew like taking that leap and like trusting yourself again and knowing that like I can't see exactly what's going to happen. And as teachers, like we love to plan, we love to be in control, we love to know what's
Right.
happening.
And I'm someone that I would have never, ever
Uh-huh.
in a million years have imagined that me,
Yeah.
I did that,
Yes.
It's like I never
Yes.
would have believed if you told me that 20 years ago that I would be saying this or doing this right now.
Totally. I was in the same position too, same thing. But here we are, and it's
Right.
possible, right? And not I always tell people too, like, I'm not special. I am not unique. There is nothing like incredible about me. I mean,
Right.
aside from all, everybody's
Right.
special,
Right.
but there's
Right.
nothing extraordinary about me that allowed me to do this. I just, like you said, took that leap, took that
Hmm.
jump, and just had faith. And I didn't know what it was yet, but
Right. And
Didn't
that's
need to be clear.
really, really
Yeah.
hard. I'm not gonna lie. But
It's so hard. It is so hard. Yes.
yeah.
But yeah, like, and like you said too, being uncomfortable. Like when I was teaching, I was thinking about this the other day. Like I couldn't think of a time, like, yeah, I was uncomfortable in the sense that like I was annoyed and like I was tired and like, oh, this is uncomfortable in that sense. But
Right. Right.
really, truly stepping outside of my comfort zone and doing something that like really rattled me enough to like
Mhm.
shake me. Now I
Yeah.
do that on the every day. I'm like,
Right.
this sucks, but it's amazing. The
Right.
growth is amazing. Okay, so two more questions for you. What are the biggest changes you've seen in yourself after leaving teaching and starting your business? What changes do you
Oh my
notice?
goodness. So many.
I know, right?
But let's keep it simple here. Let's back up. Yeah, because I could talk about this for a whole episode in itself.
Yes, go for it.
So one is like rediscovering who I actually am.
hmm
That's huge. And two, just the amount of stress and the whole mental health piece. My
hmm
life is totally different. Like the way I think, the way
hmm
I approach situations,
hmm
the way I speak to people, my family. I
Yeah.
mean, everything is
Yeah.
drastically different.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I hear the same things from so many teachers who have left, and I have not talked to one person that's left that's been like, I really regret it. But the thing is,
Right,
too, like, if you did regret it, you could always go back, right?
right,
And
right,
of course, this is not an episode to like try to talk people out of leaving teaching. Like, that's not
right.
ever what
Exactly.
we're trying to do. It's
Right.
just to show people that there are opportunities, there is possibility. You just have to believe in yourself. Yes, that is so, so beautiful. Okay, now last question here for you, Amanda. What final piece of advice do you have for teachers that are maybe thinking about leaving the classroom or have that gut feeling and that are like, I don't know, like I don't know if there's something else out there for me. What advice would you give them?
I would say definitely don't disregard that gut feeling and that nudge. As scary as it is and as scary as it sounds, pursue whatever it is that you've got, that internal gut feeling. And it's okay. So, as you're thinking about transitioning and leaving a field that you've loved and that you've poured
Mhm.
so much time into, it is okay. I
Mhm.
talk to teachers, so many teachers about this. It is okay to start something new and to start from the ground up. And even if you have to pivot, you don't like exactly when you're out and you're working and you're, trying to build something or a new career, whatever it is, it's okay to pivot. And I know,
Yeah,
there's a lot of opinions out there on that, but go with your gut, trust your instincts, and it is
yeah.
okay to start something new.
Yes, absolutely. There's so much guilt associated with leaving. Like we hear so often, like, what about the kids?
Right.
It's like, well, what about me? Like, what about my sanity and
Right.
my mental health and my happiness too?
Right.
And
Yeah.
you deserve to take up space. You deserve to.
Right.
You're,
Because
yeah,
if you're not nurturing yourself and loving yourself and pouring into yourself, how in the world can you,
yeah,
sustain long term,
yeah.
either staying where
That's
you are or pursuing something new? So,
yes. That could be a whole nother episode too, right?
right.
Sustaining and teaching. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, Amanda, thank you so much for joining us. And before you go, tell everybody where we can find you. Where are the best places to find you online?
Sure. Yes. Thanks for having me. It was so fun
Yes,
today to be here with you all.
yes, yes.
Where can you find me? You can find me through, let's start with this, my webpage. I'll talk about my podcast a little bit and then, yeah. So you can find me Amanda Reed, and that's two E's. I know a lot of people spell Reid, Reed. So let me start over. AmandaReedCoaching.com.
hmm
Or you can find my podcast on Apple or Spotify, the Amanda Reed podcast. It is called Walking Away from the Classroom. I am also on Instagram, Amanda_Reed. You can find me there. And then my email,
Awesome.
AmandaReedCoaching@gmail.com.
Perfect. And we will put all of those links in the show notes too, so you're easy to find. But
Perfect.
again, thank you so much, Amanda, for sharing your story. Like I said, I am just so inspired by what you are doing to help teachers rediscover who they are outside of the
Absolutely. Thank
classroom and
you.
build businesses to gain that financial freedom. So until next time, you guys, thanks for listening.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Beyond the Classroom. If you know something has to change and you're ready to take the next step to make it happen, whether it's in or out of the classroom, let's talk it through together. Schedule a no-obligation chat with me and we can talk through where you're stuck, how to get you unstuck, and how to keep you moving forward. Schedule your free call today by clicking the link in the show notes. I can't wait to connect with you.